Method number 4 in Gene Sharp's brilliant work, The Methods of Nonviolent Action, is signing public statements. For instance, in Czechoslovakia in 1968, the government and the population was doing all these freedom reforms, and the hard-line communists in government couldn't stand it. But they were a minority in their government, so they couldn't stop all these great new laws. And they were like, "Fuck that!" And they called the Russians and said, "Help! Please, invade our country and put our group in supreme power." And the Russians were like, "Okay." And they invaded. And the Czech people were like, "Oh, no, you don't." So the leaders of the legitimately elected Czechoslovak government all signed this public statement saying, "Hey, this invasion's illegal. We don't want this." Anyway, that's how signing public statements work in theory. The book didn't have any examples of signed public statements that were actually successful, so I don't know if it works or not. Interestingly, this is a method that's already been used by the know-nothing climate denier faction. They basically wrote this letter that says, "Oh, it would be bad for the environment and for public health if we did anything to stop climate change. In fact, climate change might even be good. Yeah, and polar bears might sprout wings." Anyway, they got 31,000 quote-unquote scientists to sign this thing called the Oregon Petition. But some of them were just like celebrities and fictional characters, not even scientists at all. And almost all the scientists weren't climate scientists. They were mostly like engineers, right? What do they know about climate science? Oh, I've never studied this and I really don't know that much about it, but I do know how to put up bridges. Anyway, since I have a degree in science, people should just trust me when I say climate change is a hoax. What? I mean, if they were engineering a bridge and a bunch of climate scientists said, "Hey, this is bullshit. You don't know what you're doing. We know more about building bridges than you people who've studied it your whole lives." And that's not going to happen, right? Climate scientists are cooler than that. Engineers, not so much. Anyway, I kind of don't think signing public statements would work in climate change's case because the other side doesn't believe what scientists say. They're all, "So what if 98% of climate scientists say this? That means nothing." Really? So we can deduce that 99% also wouldn't be good enough. They're not going to believe what 100% of the climate scientists say. Holy crap, we're out of climate scientists. Quick, get some engineers. But how could signed public statements have an impact? Well, in those places where they elect climate denier politicians, particularly in places that are getting hammered by extreme weather, prominent citizens could make it socially acceptable to talk about this. I'm talking about business leaders, religious leaders, hard-working farmers. And as long as we're talking about business leaders, these guys are a big part of the coalition that elects the guys that say nothing should be done about climate change. So, hello, business leaders, climate change is going to take you down too. And if you don't believe a pissed-off polar bear, maybe you'll believe Christine Lagarde of the International Monetary Fund, who said if we don't act soon to stop climate change, everybody's going to be roasted, toasted, fried, and grilled. That's everybody. So it's going to be really important if we get a lot of big-time business leaders to say, "Oh, yeah, we got to do something about this." Because that's the only way you're going to get through to the business community. So signed public statements are really going to be most effective in the communities where climate denial is in vogue. Alright, next time we'll talk about nonviolent method number 5, declarations of indictment and intention.